Hello and welcome to Double Shot on a Friday afternoon. The Steelers might or might not have a quarterback available to them in Atlanta. I'm joined by Chris Halleck over on the south side. He just got done covering practice. We'll touch base with him in a moment. I'm borderline skeptical, and not about necessarily what you'd think about. There's a part of me that's wondering if maybe this is gamesmanship. And if it wasn't for Mike Tomlin, you know what I'm saying, Chris, right?
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, but in this case, I might have to disagree. But I definitely think that there is some validity to there being some sort of gamesmanship anytime Mike Tomlin's involved.
I mean, he advertised it this week. He was openly talking about how he'd want to make sure that Raheem Morris was preparing for two different quarterbacks, meaning how much he was going to use Justin Fields. Look, I know. Look, Russ is hurt. We get that part. Okay. Russell has a calf injury that's probably a recurrence. Is that your inclination there, Chris?
Yes and no. He said that nothing was worse based off of what actually happened with this tightness. But the fact is it's the same calf that he injured in training camp. So I would still call that an aggravation. Maybe nothing's worse, but
if it's the same calf, then it's probably something you would think that's going to hold him out. And in that event, you're going to have Justin Fields out there taking the snaps in the season opener. And I got to tell you, I don't care how uncomfortable this sounds, Chris. There's a part of me that's actually kind of okay with this. I want to see what Justin Fields. No. Let me rephrase that. I want to see more of what Justin Fields can do with this offense, because we've already seen plenty. Yeah, the ball was put on the ground 3 times with the center quarterback exchanges, but they were new centers, and in a couple of cases might not even have been Fields' fault. But otherwise, I mean, when you look at the passes that he was making, when you look at the way he seemed to read the offenses better, read the defenses better, such as they are. They're all vanilla in the preseason. That felt to me, and from everything that I heard on the south side, like he did take a step forward. He's not necessarily the same guy who was stumbling with the Bears for 3 years.
Yeah, I definitely think that Justin can do a lot of really interesting and good things in Arthur Smith's offense. I think it's a good system for him to take a step forward in. The biggest thing is reading defenses. That's the biggest thing with him, because he has to do it faster.
And release the ball faster.
Yeah, that's part of it too. That's part of having that trust of trusting your eyes, what the defense is showing you, and then making a throw based off of that with anticipation.
I would love to see, and I think this is a dream scenario, okay, for the franchise. Not just for this season, but going past this. What if he were to just come out and kill it? What if he were to go out there and pull, what Mason Rudolph did in his first 2 starts, where you don't even give the head coach any choice but to keep playing you? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
That to me is what jumps out here. It's just everyone's been waiting ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired for the next quarterback, okay? And if you were to have drafted Fields, if you were to have been the team, and not Chicago, that drafted him out of Ohio State, we would have been rolling parades down Fifth Avenue here to celebrate him, okay? 100%. We would have been like, here he is, here's the next guy. Well, he shows up 3 years later. The Bears do some damage to their quarterback, as they always do, but he's here. He's here now. What if he can still be a thing? He's 25.
Yeah,
he's 25.
I don't think he's done, and he's got too much arm talent. He's too great of an athlete. I've been saying all along, ever since they acquired him, that he has the potential to be a superstar in this league. It's figuring out how to play within the structure of an offense. And again, as we already said, being able to make throws with anticipation, being able to read defenses, break down defenses, because if he can do essentially what Mason Rudolph did down the stretch last year from the pocket, and then add the ability to improvise with his legs, superstar.
I have to get your feel. You were over at practice today. What's your sense for whether or not we're going to see him starting?
I would be shocked if Russell Wilson's starting on Sunday.
Okay.
I just
That's pretty strong.
I can't. You know just as well as I do. I can't report exactly what I see in practice, but based off of what I've seen, and even based off of what Russ said himself, I would be shocked because he was asked directly, "Do you expect to start Sunday?" And he said, and I quote, "Trying to get my body ready to go and rock and roll, just doing everything we can," unquote.
So corny. Always so corny.
Yeah.
That guy. Notice that? I saw him walk past me yesterday in the locker room, and he was walking just fine, but walking is walking, and playing in a National Football League regular season game is on turf is something else entirely. I telling you, I just feel like, Chris, I feel like that there's something positive that can come from this. I really do. I feel like we've seen so much of Fields with this offense. You and I out there in Latrobe and Southside, we've seen all the reps he's had. We've seen the relationships that he's formed with a lot of the individual players, with George Pickens. We've seen him throw across the middle to newly signed and really happy guy, Pat Fryermuth, over the middle. Over the middle. We've seen him look very comfortable in managing the running offense. We've seen him be part of the running offense. I mean, dude, just take care of the football, you know?
Yeah, that's really the other aspect, because he has turned the ball over 41 times in 3 seasons. That's a lot. That's way too, for how the Steelers win football games. That is not conducive to winning.
Even in Chicago, it's a lot.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide from that. Plus, he's also been, unless you've seen or heard something that I haven't, he's just been great about all of this, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, when you look at his personality, he's coming here. He has to take one. You know, he has to suck it up a little bit. He was a 3-year NFL starter. He was the guy taking the main podium after every game and after every practice. He was the center of attention. He was the guy that was supposed to save the offense in Chicago, and where they had the parade, I'm sure, for him coming out of Ohio State. And now, you know, he's got an opportunity to do something here, and he's just kept his cool through the whole thing.
Yeah, his maturity level is very, very impressive. There's a lot that I haven't been impressed by when it comes to Justin, and I've realistically,
you said haven't.
No, I'm not. Sorry, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, completely said that backwards. No, the other thing, the other way. No, he's been really impressive. Just about everything that he's done has been impressive.
Triple negative there to get you back on track, right?
Yeah. Good old.
Well, listen,
good old
when we get back, Chris and I from Atlanta, we're going to be starting this show for real. This is fake. We're just doing a test for you to have some fun, to organize some of the different sound effects and video effects and that we're going to be doing with the show. It's going to begin for real on Monday when we come back. And it's going to have this little I'm pointing over here, the wrong one. It's going to have this happy little Falcons helmet, which arrived just in time for the first show. And there will be some other little tricks here. And I got to tell you guys, we're going to share a little backstory here for you, because Chris and I drove. Where were we driving? Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, yeah.
And how much of those 8 total hours did we spend talking about this?
6, at least.
Probably 6.
At least.
And guess who the expert is on how these shows work? Hint, it ain't me. That guy over there watches all of these things.
Yeah, to a certain point. You can only take so much of it, because some of these national shows can be a little a lot to take. But I feel like we can do it a lot better.
Yeah, speaking of takes, you're not going to get hot takes on here. You're going to get real live reporting from the ground. Both Chris and I are around the Steelers. Whenever we get more in season and in different vibes, we're going to do hockey. We're going to do baseball. It's going to be a lot of different things, because, you know, here at DK Pittsburgh Sports, and by the way, if you're not familiar with our background, this is our headquarters /shop/studio /everything here in downtown Pittsburgh at 224 Fifth Avenue. We're gonna be having some fun. We're gonna do this every weekday afternoon, and hopefully turn it into a really like fun thing, not just for us, but hopefully for you as well. Oh, and calls. Remember we talked about calls in the car?
I do.
Well, they won't technically be calls because we were told loud and clear by people when we surveyed them, like, no talk show. Don't do it. Don't do like a true talk show. We want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, well, that's what we'll do. But we also will have in a final segment a way in which you can reach out and share with us, your question, your thoughts for us. We might even call it J1Q, just like we do with the morning daily shots. But there will be one of these. It'll be every weekday afternoon. You'll have it available to you on all of the platforms, whether it's video or audio, for your commute home. And that's it. That's our test show.